For this project, I used my trusty fabric scissors, thread scissors, light colored thread, a size 14 and 16 sewing needle since I am working with both a lightweight and heavy duty fabric, and the following embroidery thread colors. I chose flosses with more muted colors such as off-white and yellow-green as opposed to the starker white and teal design used in the game. Last but not least, don't forget your sewing machine. For the denim side of the apron, I repurposed a dress I got off of Depop. It came with pockets, a nice rounded hem, and buttons, which I sadly didn't get to incorporate. Both the gingham and shred pockets were also made from fabric scraps from various other sewing projects. For the flower side, I just used a 92 square centimeter of linen fabric, hemmed the edges, and washed it to pre-shrink it. I first made a pattern from muslin that was also approximately 92 by 92 centimeters. Here are the specific measurements that I used for this apron, and best of all, it's one size fits most, so you don't have to do any math to figure out a perfect fit. All the pockets are approximately 18 by 23 centimeters. I cut 4 from the excess linen, 1 from the gingham fabric, 1 from the striped fabric, and 2 pieces from the muslin for the backing. Before I cut the denim dress, I seam ripped the tag off so I could sew it back on later. I folded the dress along the sagittal plane so that I could preserve the existing pockets in the dress and use a pattern to cut out the apron, leaving plenty of room for seam allowance. Then I used the denim apron as a template for the linen one because, I don't know, I guess I just wanted them to match up. I cut 2 pieces of linen and 2 pieces of scrap denim, all 15 by 4 centimeter rectangles. Then I sewed them wrong sides together and then flipped them inside out, then hemmed it. I took the pockets, sewed them all wrong sides together, making sure I left a small gap, then flipped it inside out. For the gingham and striped pockets, I added the signature orange contrast stitching 2 centimeters down from the top of the pocket. Then I top stitched all the pockets onto their respective sides. Now it's time to embroider. I tried to replicate the flowers as closely to the in-game design, but it was subject to change. And now, for a change of subject. I have never embroidered something so quickly because I was making this the present day of Christmas. It was originally just going to be the denim version, but I decided that it was going to be extremely lackluster, so the reversible design aspect to this thing was quite last minute. Anyways, here's a quick rundown of the embroidery styles I used. Lazy daisy for the daisies, satin stitch for the flower buds, a chain stitch for the stems, and a back stitch for the leaves. I chose to omit the blue petals in the red flower because I was simply too lazy. I chose a variety of stitches because I thought they would evoke a more homemade feel and looked more interesting as opposed to using all satin stitch. It's biodiversity versus monoculture, baby. Satin stitch is kind of a pain in the ass to do because it's time consuming and uses too much embroidery floss. Also, I know my technique looks kinda trash here because I had to crane my back over to make sure this was on camera. I promise my needlework looks generally better than this. Everything was going relatively smoothly up until this point. Sewing machines are remarkably similar to printers in that they will start immediately malfunctioning when they sense any sign of stress and urgency. This was when I started to hem the denim side using the size 16 needle. I'm not sure if I was pressing down on the sewing machine control pedal thingy too hard, but then the bottom stitch started looping. This is important because not only will the results come out aesthetically displeasing, but loop stitches will also compromise the integrity and longevity of your finished piece. I googled what was wrong and it had to do with mismatched tensions between the thread and bobbin tension. But at this point I was Russian. So I gave up and had a nice Christmas dinner with my family and had a good game of ᵘᵃⁿᵉ. I came back to this project a couple days later, adjusting the tension back to the default, and lo and behold, it made perfectly fine stitches. It was like God whispering in my ear to take my time and to not half-ass this project. Both sides of the apron were hemmed with a single fold, and I sewed them right sides together, making sure that the stitch ran as close to the edge as possible. I top stitched the straps 3 centimeters down from the collar area, which seemed straightforward, but my lines were definitely not. After the straps were attached, I tried adding decorative X's in the center, but they came out kind of fucked. The idea was nice in theory though. The cherry on top was to top stitch the tag I seamed from the dress earlier onto the center of the denim apron. Once everything is assembled, sew the back A-strap to the corresponding front A-strap and vice versa. Make sure that they are right sides together. The last step was to give this to my sister, and of course, she loved it. Here are the obligatory try-on clips. I mean, this is such a versatile piece, you know, you can really get through your daily errands with this little apron. You can pick fruit, forget what you wanted to do so you ran around until you remember, hang out with your favorite villager, kick out your least favorite villager, and so much more. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy playing Animal Crossing. Have a nice day!